Let me say this straight. No woman is rejecting you because you're not tall enough, rich enough, or good-looking enough. That's what most men think. But the truth is deeper than that. The real reason women don't want you has nothing to do with those surface things. It's the energy you give off, the way you carry yourself, and how you make her feel. See, as women, we can sense when a man's energy is off before he even opens his mouth. You might think you're being nice, genuine, or caring, but to a woman, it might come across as needy, uncertain, or like you're trying too hard to be liked. And once she feels that, attraction dies instantly. Here's something men don't hear enough. Women aren't drawn to perfection. We're drawn to presence. We're drawn to confidence that feels quiet, not loud. Strength that doesn't need to prove itself. When a man is centered, when he's not chasing validation, not over-explaining, not trying to convince us of his worth, we feel it. And that feeling creates attraction almost automatically. So if women seem to keep losing interest, disappearing, or saying, "You're such a nice guy," but it's not because you're doing something wrong in the obvious sense. It's because the way you show up tells her that you don't see your own value. And if you don't, she won't either. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly what that thing is that turns women off, even when you think you're doing everything right. I'll show you what women actually respond to, and how to shift the energy that pushes them away without you even realizing it. Because once you understand this, you won't have to chase, you'll attract. 1. You want her more than you respect yourself. You might not realize it, but one of the biggest turn-offs for a woman isn't rejection or indifference. It's when a man clearly wants her more than he respects himself. It's when you start making decisions based on what she might think, what she might want, or what will make her like you more, instead of what actually feels right for you. And women can feel that energy instantly. It's not about what you say, it's about how you move. Let me paint the picture for you. You start texting her every day, trying to keep the conversation alive because you don't want to lose momentum. She starts replying less, and you feel that anxiety creeping in. So you double down, sending another message, maybe a funny meme, maybe asking what's wrong. You tell yourself you're just being thoughtful, but from her side, it doesn't look that way. What she sees is a man who's putting her on a pedestal. You've placed her attention above your self-respect. You've made her opinion of you the center of your emotional balance. And that's when she starts to pull back. Not because she wants to play games, but because she can feel you've given your power away. See, women aren't attracted to effort. They're attracted to energy. When your focus shifts from living your life to getting her validation, you stop being magnetic. You start moving from confidence to desperation. She senses that you're seeking her approval instead of standing in your truth. When you want a woman more than you respect yourself, you start breaking your own boundaries, accepting disrespect, tolerating mixed signals, over-explaining, apologizing too much. You might think it's showing care, but to her, it feels like you're trying to earn love instead of expecting respect. The truth is, a woman can only respect a man who respects himself more than he wants her approval. That doesn't mean being cold, arrogant, or distant. It means valuing your peace, your time, and your energy enough not to hand it away just because she looks good or gives you a little attention. When a man respects himself, he naturally moves differently. He's not afraid of losing her because he knows he's not losing himself. He gives space. He doesn't chase validation. And that calm, self-assured energy, that's what women crave. So if you ever catch yourself feeling anxious or trying to make it work when she's pulling back, pause. Ask yourself, am I respecting myself right now, or am I just trying to get her to choose me? Because when you start choosing yourself first, That's when she starts seeing you differently. That's when attraction shifts. 2. You overexplain your worth. This is one of those habits that almost every good guy falls into. And it's deadly for attraction. You keep trying to prove that you're a good man. You overexplain your intentions, your values, your loyalty, hoping she'll finally see the kind of man you are. But here's the truth. The moment you start explaining your worth to a woman, she's already stopped feeling it. Because women don't believe what they're told. They feel what they experience. You can say, "I'm different," or "I'm not like those other guys," 100 times, but if your energy feels like you're trying to convince her, she's already emotionally checked out. When a man is truly grounded, he doesn't try to sell himself. He lets his energy speak. He knows who he is, and he doesn't need her validation to confirm it. That quiet confidence is what creates curiosity and respect. But when you're constantly clarifying, defending, or trying to make her understand your worth, it signals something else entirely: insecurity. Women can read that energy immediately. When you say things like, "I just wanted you to know I'm not like other guys. I'd never treat you that way. I always show up for the people I care about." It might sound sweet to you, but to her, it feels like you're seeking approval. It tells her that deep down, you don't actually believe you're enough without her confirmation. The truth is, women are drawn to men who don't explain. They embody. The man who knows he's valuable doesn't need to convince anyone. His actions, his tone, his presence, all of it communicates that he's solid, he's unbothered, he's the prize. And here's what's crazy. When you stop over-explaining, women start leaning in more. They sense that confidence, that subtle detachment, that quiet power. They start wanting to know more about you. They feel like they have to earn your attention instead of you constantly earning theirs. You've probably noticed that the men who seem to attract women effortlessly rarely say much about themselves. They don't brag. They don't prove, they don't justify, they just are. And women love the mystery that comes with that energy. So the next time you feel tempted to explain your worth, stop. Don't tell her how loyal, kind, or genuine you are. Be that. Let her experience it over time. If she can't see it, that's her loss, not your fault. Real men don't chase validation. They protect their energy and let the right woman recognize their value on her own. That's how you shift from being just another nice guy to being unforgettable. 3. You're emotionally available in the wrong way. Let's clear something up. Women do want emotionally available men, but not the kind most men think that means. Most guys hear, "be emotionally open," and interpret it as, "tell her everything. Be vulnerable right away. Always share your feelings." But that's not what creates attraction. That's what creates comfort. And comfort, without attraction, makes her see you more like a friend than a man she desires. The truth is, women want a man who can handle emotions, not one who spills them everywhere. We're drawn to men who can stay grounded even when they're emotional, who can feel but not fall apart. There's a difference between sharing your heart and dumping your insecurities. When you open up too soon, too much, or too often, you might think you're building connection. But to a woman, it feels like pressure. You're trying to create emotional closeness before she's felt attraction, and that imbalance kills the spark, because now, instead of her being pulled in, she feels like she has to carry your emotions. Women are naturally nurturing, but not to men they aren't attracted to. When a man starts treating her like his emotional anchor, oversharing his fears, his loneliness, his doubts, she stops seeing him as strong. She starts seeing him as fragile. And attraction fades fast when a woman feels like she has to be the stable one. Being emotionally available doesn't mean constantly expressing every feeling. It means being aware of them, processing them, and communicating from a place of control. You can say, "I've had a rough day," without turning it into a therapy session. You can express care without begging for reassurance. You can show warmth without losing composure. The kind of emotional availability women crave is masculine presence. It's when a man feels deeply but stays calm, when he can be vulnerable but doesn't depend on her reaction to feel okay. That balance, that calm honesty, makes her trust you. It makes her feel safe and turned on. Because when you show a woman that your emotions don't control you, you become magnetic. She feels your depth, but she also feels your strength. You're not a man lost in his feelings. You're a man in control of them. And that's rare. 4. You try to be her peace. Before you're your own, one of the most misunderstood phrases in modern dating is this: be her peace. You see it everywhere. Women saying they want a man who brings peace, who's calm, who makes her feel safe. And while that's true, most men take it the wrong way. They start trying to be her peace before they've built their own. And that's where everything goes wrong. Here's what I mean. You meet a woman. She's beautiful. She's got that energy that draws you in. And right away, you start trying to fix her moods, calm her emotions, make her happy. You tell yourself you're being supportive, but really, you're making her emotional world your responsibility. You think that if you can make her feel good, she'll love you more. But the truth is, when you try to be her peace before you're your own, you start losing your balance. And she feels that. Women can tell when a man is trying to earn connection through emotional caretaking. It doesn't feel like strength. It feels like neediness disguised as kindness. You're showing up as a man who needs her to feel okay, so you can feel okay. And that's not peace. That's dependency. A woman doesn't need a man who constantly fixes her. She needs a man who's anchored. Someone who's already calm, already grounded, already in control of his own emotions. That's what she means when she says she wants peace. She wants to feel it from you, not take it from you. When you're centered, you don't get pulled into her moods. You don't argue just to prove a point. You don't let her attitude shake your confidence. You observe, stay calm, and choose your reactions carefully. That energy, that quiet, grounded strength, is what actually brings peace to a relationship. Because here's the truth most men miss. A woman's emotions are like waves. They rise, they crash, they settle. You're not supposed to control them. You're supposed to stay standing while they pass. When she realizes you don't get thrown off every time she does, she starts to trust you more. She feels safe, not because you say the right things, but because your energy doesn't break when hers does. So stop trying to be her peace before you've built your own. That's how men burn out and lose themselves in relationships. Build your own calm, your own emotional stability, your own balance. When you do, you won't have to try to be her peace. You'll naturally become it. And that's when she'll start seeing you as the man she can truly relax with. 5. You give too much too soon. This one hits hard because most men who do it are genuinely good men. They care. They want to show love. They believe that giving, attention, time, gifts, effort will make a woman appreciate them more. But what they don't realize is that when you give too much too soon, it doesn't make a woman value you more. It actually makes her feel less for you. Here's how it happens. You meet a woman you really like. She's everything you've been looking for, so you go all in. You text her every morning, you plan thoughtful dates, you tell her how amazing she is, and you make her feel special. At first, she enjoys the attention. It feels flattering. But slowly, something changes. She starts replying slower. She seems distracted. Her energy shifts, and suddenly you're wondering what you did wrong. From your side, you were being genuine. But from her side, it feels like you're giving her something she didn't earn yet. That's the key word, earn. When a woman hasn't emotionally invested yet and you start giving her boyfriend-level effort, she subconsciously feels like you're trying to buy her affection. It creates pressure instead of attraction. See, women fall for men gradually. We value what we work for, what we earn. When you give too much too early, there's no space for her to invest, to wonder, to desire. You've already filled the space that would have made her chase you. And without that space, the emotional excitement dies. A woman needs to feel like she's discovering you. Not that you're handing yourself over like a prize she hasn't won yet. She needs to feel your interest but not be overwhelmed by it. The truth is, giving too much too soon doesn't make you look generous. It makes you look unbalanced. It says, I don't value my energy enough to pace myself. When a man values himself, his giving is measured. He's not stingy, he's intentional. He gives after observing, after seeing effort from her side, after trust begins to form. He matches energy instead of overcompensating for what's missing. That's what keeps attraction alive. There's a moment every woman feels when she realizes he's not giving me everything, but I want him to. That's the moment you want. That's where desire grows. It's the space between her wanting more and not having it yet that builds tension, curiosity, and emotional pull. So don't give to prove your worth. Give because she's earned it, because she's showing consistency, respect, and genuine effort. That's when your giving becomes valuable. That's when she appreciates it. And you. 6. You don't create emotional distance. Here's something most men never hear. Attraction doesn't grow in closeness. It grows in space. And that space isn't just physical, it's emotional. When you don't create emotional distance, when you're always available, always responding instantly, always emotionally there, you rob a woman of one of the most powerful forces that build desire: anticipation. Women are emotional beings. We connect through feeling, not logic. And one of the strongest emotions we can feel in attraction is curiosity. That what is he thinking, or why hasn't he texted yet? Energy that makes her heart race a little. But when you're constantly emotionally accessible, you remove that mystery. You make yourself predictable, and predictable kills excitement. Now, this doesn't mean you should play games or ignore her. It's about balance. When you make your emotional availability too easy, she stops feeling that pull toward you. You're not giving her anything to wonder about, no reason to miss you, no emotional rhythm to keep her engaged. Most men misunderstand emotional distance. They think it means being cold or detached. It doesn't. It means maintaining your own emotional space within the connection, keeping your center, not losing yourself in her moods or presence. You still care, but you're not constantly seeking connection. You can go a day without contact and not spiral. You can enjoy her company, but still leave her wondering what's going on in your mind. That's what keeps attraction alive: emotional independence. When a woman feels that you're connected but not consumed, it makes her respect you. She knows you're not desperate for her attention. You've got your own emotional world, your own priorities, your own self-control. That's power to her. Think about it. The men who seem to drive women crazy without doing much aren't doing anything magical. They just know how to hold back a little. They don't overshare every thought. They don't constantly check in. And they don't emotionally overextend themselves. That subtle restraint keeps women intrigued. Because when a woman feels like she can't fully predict you, she starts to think about you more. She starts craving your attention, not because you're withholding it, but because she can feel that your energy isn't wrapped around her. You've left emotional space, and she wants to fill it. 7. You don't let her earn you. This is the part that most men never understand, and it's the reason so many good men get overlooked, used, or forgotten. You don't let a woman earn you. You give your time, your attention, your loyalty, your affection, all up front. Before she's proven that she deserves it. Before she's shown consistency, respect, or effort. You hand yourself over like a reward she hasn't worked for yet. And in doing that, you make yourself emotionally cheap. I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. Women don't value what comes too easily. We value what we have to earn, what we have to wonder about, what we have to invest in emotionally. That's how attraction deepens. Through effort, through curiosity, through the feeling of wanting to win a man's attention because it means something. When you give yourself away too easily, you rob a woman of that process. You remove the chase. And that chase isn't about manipulation. It's about emotional engagement. It's what keeps her thinking about you when you're not around, what makes her want to show up better, what makes her value your approval. Here's what women don't say out loud. We want to feel like we're earning a man's trust, his presence, and his affection, because that means he's not just giving it to anyone. That makes it special. But when you give it away instantly, without boundaries or standards, it tells her that your love doesn't cost anything. And that makes it easy to walk away from. Letting a woman earn you isn't about being difficult or playing hard to get. It's about knowing your worth. It's about observing how she treats you, how she communicates, how she invests. It's about not rushing to call her yours until she's shown she's capable of matching your energy. A high-value man doesn't chase, he invites. He creates opportunities for connection, but he doesn't hand over commitment without seeing consistent effort. He doesn't open his heart just because she's beautiful or because she gives him attention. He waits to see who she really is when things aren't convenient, when there's no reward in sight. That's how he filters out the women who only want attention from those who truly want him. When you stop trying to prove your worth and start requiring hers, everything changes. You'll notice women treat you differently. They'll respect your time, they'll show up more intentionally, they'll put in effort, because they can feel that your energy isn't free. It has value. So stop giving access too easily. Stop rewarding minimal effort. Let her earn the parts of you that matter. Because when she finally does, that's when she'll never want to lose you. Here's the truth that most men never hear. Women don't lose interest because you're not enough. They lose interest because you give too much of yourself without her earning it. You hand over your time, your energy, your emotions, and your peace before she's proven that she deserves a place in your life. And when a woman doesn't have to work for your presence, she can't value it. No woman truly wants a man she doesn't have to earn. We crave that subtle challenge, that sense of knowing we have to rise to meet your standard. Because when you make a woman earn your respect, your consistency, and your loyalty, she sees your worth. She feels like she's won something rare, and that's what makes her hold on. So stop trying to be the man who does everything right. Stop chasing approval or proving your value. Instead, start protecting your energy. Move with calm confidence. Speak less. Observe more. Make her deserve your time. When she feels that, everything shifts. The way she looks at you, talks to you, respects you, and remember, a man who respects himself doesn't have to chase women. His presence does the work. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt like you gave too much to a woman who didn't value it? What did you learn from that experience? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone, and I'll be replying to your stories personally. Because if you're ready to understand women, truly, that's where it starts. With honesty.